Good morning. Welcome back to the Leadership Pro podcast, where fairness meets leadership and wellness meets purpose. I'm your host, Dr. Wilhelmina, and today we're talking about something every leader eventually faces. What do you do when you're the one going through the storm? So I came up with today's podcast because a good friend, is actually going through crisis and is a leader, and they're showing up well. But this is just information for anyone that's going through that uh, type of situation, and it just really inspired me to do this. So let's move on. So we know one thing I've learned both personally and professionally is that leadership doesn't pause just because life gets hard. Whether you're leading at home, in the workplace, or in the community, your responsibilities don't change magically because you're having some type of crisis. And, quite frankly, most people don't even know you're having a crisis. And yet, leaders are human first. Let's not forget that they are human first. Real leadership starts with honesty. So, something you could say is, I'm carrying something heavy and I need to navigate this wisely. This isn't weakness, this is maturity. You're letting everyone know there's something going on and you're going to have to get through this. Boundaries are a little leadership skill. Let's talk a little bit about that. When a leader is in crisis, the first step is setting temporary boundaries. So, not disappearing, not shutting down, just adjusting the pace and the intention. You have to really think about it. Um, this may look like delegating where you can, postponing non urgent decisions, protecting your emotional space, being gentle with your own capacity. You really have to recognize what you have the capacity to handle at the moment and get into that and think about how you want to protect your peace and your space, your emotional space. Leadership is not about doing everything. Leadership is about doing the right thing with the energy you have. So sometimes, okay, we're going to go on to the next segment of this. Sometimes, you can be communicating, but you're oversharing in these situations because you're emotional and the emotion is taking the lead at the time. So a healthy leader communicates without bleeding out emotionally. And I can say that this is one of my weaknesses, oversharing. I'm pretty open, as you can see in the podcast. I'll use my own stories or life experiences to illustrate whatever I'm talking about. So, but yeah, in a situation where I'm experiencing a crisis, I might overshare. And so the point of this is you just letting people know that you're handling some personal matters and you appreciate their patience. That's enough. You may move slower this week. Let them know that. Or uh, thank you for your support and go on with the situation. They don't have to know everything, the details. These they need to know the expectation, and that the details they're not going to get. So this builds trust, steadiness, and emotional safety at home, at work, and in the community. So we know that um, I always focus on the work situation, the home, and the community because leadership doesn't stop when you leave the office. You're still a leader in the home or a leader in the community. So these topics apply when you're working in those areas also. And we need more leaders. Let's be honest, we need more leaders today. And so we encourage, what the heck? Get me sick. Um, we need more leaders in general. So, in those areas, home, work, and in the community. So, let's talk now about support because support is a strength, not a scar. Crisis is not the time to go into isolation. It's time to lean in wisely. Ask for support. Don't be afraid to ask for support if you need it from your family at home, from your team at work, from your partners in the community roles. Those are all supportive areas places where you can get support. Healthy leaders don't carry everything alone. You can't. You could try, but you won't do it well because you have other things that have taken place that have shown up first in your life, and you have to give them the priority. So let's talk about protecting your wellness. Like it's your job. Look at it as your job. Your wellness is your job. We talk about wellness every week, and you have to be well in order to lead well. So when life gets heavy, your mind, your body, your spirit go into overdrive. That means wellness goes from optional to essential. So you need to put it up front. Um, this is the moment to rest deliberately, breathe intentionally. Breathing exercises do help, but even if you're not going to do exercises, pay attention and make sure that you are breathing. I know I tend to not breathe smoothly, hold my shoulders up high, everything, all that energy is in my neck, my jaws, my shoulders, and it's just more tension than you're already going through. So relax, rest, breathe, journal. That really helps because if you're journaling, you're putting all that energy that's in your mind out on paper. That helps you. Or just reflect on the situation. It's that thought that helps move you forward instead of being stuck in it and having all that tension. Move your body, get up, exercise. Not a lot. You don't have to go crazy. You could, but a walk, take a walk. Um, Talk to someone who's safe. You always have those people in your life that are safe for conversation. It's not going to get around to everybody, but they're willing to listen. Um, Eat in a way that supports your energy. So you want to eat the types of food that support you having energy, not the fatty, heavy, greasy, cheesed up foods that are going to weigh you down. Your wellness becomes your leadership. Okay. Crisis brain makes everything louder. So think about it. When you're in crisis, your emotional state, it's an emotional overload, and you end up uh, maybe responding to things differently than you would if you didn't have that crisis. So if possible, delay any permanent decisions. Press pause on discipline or conflict. Avoid making major changes. So I used to tell people this when they come back from deployment. So it's sort of a crisis. It's not as serious as someone being ill or something like that. But when dealing with deployment, you come back and everything's different. So the friends, the spouse, the people in your life have moved on to function in their life without you because you're not there while you're deployed. So when you come back, they're still kind of in that mode, and you have to work your way out, work things out, and figure out how life is going to be moving forward so you can get back to normal. But making a decision like a divorce or moving out, or you're cut that person off because they're not responding in the way you wanted them to respond, that can be a bad thing for you because down the road, when you're more back to your normal, you might regret that you made that permanent decision. So don't make a permanent decision. Delay, pause, or I'm sorry, pause and delay the discipline or the conflict. Don't have the conflict. Try to talk it out and relate with the other person. So you want to lead. So our next segment, leading with steady authenticity. You don't have to pretend you're fine. They know you're not fine anyway. People are intuitive to their environment and the people around them, and they'll know you're not all right. They may not know why. You just have to show up with integrity. Do what you would do when do what you would do when someone's looking, do it when they're not looking. Just try your best to be that way. So a leader can say, I'm here, I'm committed, I'm navigating something, but I'm still showing up as thoughtfully as I can. You do your best, the best you can. That is responsible. It's human and it's leadership. So I want to thank you all for showing up today, being here for this. It's loud. Try to come back again to the next session, which probably next Saturday. I'm happy that you're here. I'm requesting that you share this podcast with people that you think could use it. And remember, leadership is not about perfection. It's about humanity, fairness, and showing up, especially when life is showing up on you. I'd rather say showing out on you. I'm Dr. Wilhelmina. Until the next time, take care of yourself so you can lead well everywhere. And everywhere meaning at home, in the community, and at work. Have a beautiful weekend.